Hey guys! So, I have been vegan for a little over 1 year. Please excuse Emma's little feet walking through the house. She's so noisy. Yeah, 1 year vegan. I know, crazy. And if you know me, you know that the hardest thing in the world for me to give up was cheese. Until I realized what was really in cheese, and then it wasn't so bad. But I wanted to replicate cheese because, let's face it, it's some savory goodness. And one of my favorite foods in the world is mac and cheese and anything with cheese sauce. Like growing up, broccoli always had cheese sauce. Cauliflower always had cheese sauce. Like this was just a staple in my life. Potatoes, you put some cheese sauce on them. Everything needed cheese sauce. So when I went vegan, I tried every cheese sauce there was. I tried all the recipes and they always kind of disappointed me. I mean, I tried all like the top 5-star rated recipes, but there was always just something missing for me. And some of them were so complicated and then they still weren't that good. So I was determined to make the best cheese sauce ever. And 1 year into veganism, well, it was slightly less than a year that I finally solidified it, but almost a year into being vegan, I finally did it. I made the creamiest, smoothest, thick, but you can water it down if you need it thinner for certain things. Like you can put some soy milk in and lighten it up, but it sticks to the pasta and it's so good. I mean, I don't want to, that was the chair. Kind of funny, I was saying toot as I said that. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's pretty dang good. It's the best cheese sauce you will ever have, I promise. And it's super simple to make. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, here's how to make my cheese sauce. First, you want to take 1 cup of raw cashews and cover them with boiling water, and then set them aside for 20 to 30 minutes to give them time to soak. While those are sitting there, you can peel 2 cups worth of yellow or golden potatoes. Red potatoes would work too. You want them to be really creamy. And then give them a good rinse. Then we're going to cut them in halves, thirds, or quarters, just depends on the size of the potato. We just want them to be small enough that they will cook quickly in the Instant Pot. So once they are all cut, we're going to put a couple cups of water in the bottom of the Instant Pot. And then you're going to want to put the steaming tray in and the potatoes. That's very important. You need those potatoes. Make sure your Instant Pot is set to sealing and you want it on high pressure for 10 minutes. And when that's done, you can just do a quick release. While we're waiting, we will juice 2 lemon halves into the Vitamix, and I'm using a lemon squeezer because I can never get all the juice out of them without it. Then we're going to put 1.5 cups of water in there with it. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of soy milk, original, unsweetened, or any other plant milk that you have on hand. I just find soy milk is the creamiest. And 2 teaspoons of table salt or sea salt, whatever you have on hand. Next, 1 cup of nutritional yeast to give it that cheesiness, and 1/2
teaspoon of turmeric for the coloring. And then you're going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and you want to peel those and put them in. If your blender is not very high powered though, you may want to mince the garlic first or put it through a garlic press because you don't want any chunks in there. And that's the same for the onion, which I'm going to show you next. But I just put it in whole because the Vitamix can handle anything if I can get it in. And then we're going to take a Spanish onion or a white onion, whatever you have. Yellow onion would work. And normally I say to use a quarter, but because this one was so huge, I'm only using about 1/6 of the onion. But you can kind of use discretion on that. And then you want to drain those cashews that we've had sitting aside and put those in. And finally, the potatoes. Now, before you blend it, make sure you let the potatoes cool a little bit because you don't want it to explode. But then just put the blender on high and puree for a few minutes. Should look like this. Isn't that beautiful? And now you gotta eat it. I love it over broccoli. It's just so good. I mean, look how creamy and appetizing that broccoli looks now. Or make some macaroni and cheese and just cover it in the sauce. If your sauce has gotten thicker, you could add a little bit of soy milk to it, but I didn't need to here. It was just perfect. Now let's take it up a notch and take either Earth Island or Follow Your Heart, if you're in the States is what it's called. Parmesan shreds, Parmesan style shreds. And cover the top of that macaroni and cheese. You just want to really cover it good. And then you're going to broil it on high until the cheese gets all ooey and gooey and a little bit browned. It should look like this when you're done. Isn't that beautiful? That was always my favorite part of mac and cheese, the crispy top and then the gooey inside. That was how my mom always made it. And I've mastered it.
I told you, it's easy, right? And you can take your cheese sauce up a notch and put a little spice in it. Make it, cook it out with some jalapenos, and then you've got like a great queso. Who doesn't love queso? I love queso. And there's endless possibilities. I've put it on lasagna. I've put it on baked potatoes. I've dipped French fries in it. I've made like a veggie works with it. Like if you've ever been to New York Fries and had the veggie works, I used to get it when I was vegetarian. It has this cheese sauce all over the fries. I've done that. It's great. It's good for everything. But my personal favorite is mac and cheese and broccoli and cheese sauce, which is why those are the two things I showed you. But there's endless possibilities. And the one thing I will tell you is the cheese sauce does tend to thicken up a bit in the fridge. So if you're using it for a recipe and it's been in the fridge for a couple days, you might want to thin it out a bit with some soy milk. But if you want it thick for the recipe you're doing, then that's great. It doesn't get like super thick, but it does thicken up a bit when you cool it down. So that is your cheese sauce dreams made. You're welcome. I'm gonna go eat some broccoli and cheese sauce now because I can. Because 1 year into veganism, I finally can. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's something else that you want me to figure out how to make, I love cooking. So I will talk to you in the next video. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.